Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. McNamara here. Today I'm going to read to you Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This version is retold by Candace Ransom. We've talked about how fairy tales were written long time ago, and they're passed down from generation to generation. So Candace Ransom did not come up with the story, but she is retelling this story in this book. Okay, so as you're listening to it, I want you to think about some of the fairy tale elements that you notice. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived in a neat little house deep in the woods. The great big bear was Papa Bear. He had a loud, growly voice. The middle-sized bear was Mama Bear. She had a sweet, low voice. And the smallest bear was Baby Bear. He had a high, squeaky voice. I'm going to move in a little bit so you can see the pictures. Every morning the bears had breakfast together. They each had their own bowl, which they filled to the top with hot porridge. There was a great big bowl for Papa Bear. There was a middle-sized bowl for Baby Bear. And there was a little bowl for Baby Bear. After breakfast, the bears rested in the living room. They each had their own chair to sit in. This was a great big chair for Papa Bear. There was a middle-sized chair for Mama Bear, and there was a little chair for Baby Bear. The bears sat in their chairs and talked about how nice and quiet their cozy little house was. In the evenings, the bears were sleepy. They went upstairs to their cozy bedroom. They each had their own bed to sleep in. There was a great big bed for Papa Bear. There was a middle-sized bed for Mama Bear. And there was a little-sized bed for Baby Bear. Papa Bear snored loud, growly snores. Mama Bear snored sweet, low snores. And Baby Bear snored high, squeaky snores. One morning, the bears found that their porridge was too hot to eat. So they went for a walk in the woods to let their breakfast cool. That same morning, a little girl named Goldilocks went out early to pick flowers for her mother. She walked further and further into the woods until she came upon a neat little house. Hungry and tired, Goldilocks knocked on the door. I wonder who lives here, she thought, but no one answered. Something smelled good. Goldilocks went inside and saw 3 steaming bowls on the table. She ate a spoonful from the great big bowl, but the porridge was too hot. She ate a spoonful from the middle-sized bowl, but the porridge was too cold. Then Goldilocks ate from the smallest bowl, and the porridge was just right. She ate spoonful after spoonful until the porridge was all gone. Goldilocks was tired from walking so far, and she wanted to rest. She looked around for a nice chair in the living room. She saw 3 chairs. First, Goldilocks sat in a great big chair, but it was too hot. Next, Goldilocks sat in the middle-sized chair, but it was too soft. Then Goldilocks sat in the smallest chair, and it was just right. But crash! The bottom broke, and whack! The back snapped. Goldilocks fell to the floor with a thump. The little chair was smashed. Now Goldilocks was tired. She walked upstairs and peeked into the cozy bedroom. 3 beds stood neatly against the wall. I'll just lay down right here, said Goldilocks. First, she climbed into the great big bed, but it was too hard. Next, she climbed into the middle-sized bed, but it was too soft. Then she climbed into the smallest bed. That felt just right. Goldilocks snuggled under the quilt and soon fell fast asleep. A short time later, the bears came home. They thought their porridge might be cool enough to eat now. Papa Bear looked into his bowl and frowned. "Somebody's been eating my porridge," he said in his loud, growly voice. Next, Mama Bear looked into her bowl. "Somebody's been eating my porridge," she exclaimed in her sweet, low voice. Then Baby Bear turned his empty bowl upside down. "Somebody's been eating my porridge," he squeaked, "and it's all gone." Papa Bear walked into the living room. His chair had been moved. Somebody's been sitting in my chair," he said in his loud, growly voice. Next, Mama Bear saw the flattened cushions on her chair. "Somebody's been sitting in my chair," she exclaimed in her sweet, low voice. Then Baby Bear found his little chair smashed to pieces. "Somebody's been sitting in my chair," he squeaked, "and now it's broken." The bears went upstairs. Papa Bear saw that the pillows on his bed had been moved. "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed," Papa Bear said in his loud, growly voice. Next, Mama Bear looked at her bed and saw that the covers had been messed up. "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed," she exclaimed in her sweet, low voice. Then Baby Bear looked at his bed. A little girl with golden curls lay fast asleep upon his bed. "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed," squealed Baby Bear, "and there she is." Goldilocks woke up at the sound of Baby Bear's high, squeaky voice. She rubbed her eyes. The three bears stood over her. "Oh my!" cried Goldilocks. Frightened, she jumped out of Baby Bear's bed and dashed downstairs. Goldilocks ran out the front door and into the woods as fast as her legs could carry her. The three bears never saw Goldilocks again. Their little house deep in the woods remained peaceful. And their porridge, well, it was just right. The end. I hope you enjoyed this version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Now I want you to go on to the question and write, what elements of fairy tales did you notice in Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Bye, boys and girls.